My name is Dantes Akram. I'm a 23-year-old entrepreneur from Cleveland, Ohio, father, hustler, two-time six-figure business owner, and as well as a seven-figure business owner. I own the #1 clothing brand server in the world, Limitless Investments. Come check us out. Yo, what up? It's your boy Tez. It's been a little minute since I came out with a YouTube video that was me at my own desk, you know what I mean? So this one is a very special video. I feel like a lot of people are really gonna be able to take something away from this. But if you don't know who I am, I'm Dantes Akram, 23-year-old entrepreneur from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm also a dad as well. So shout out to all the dads that take care of their business, take care of their kids, you know, doing everything that they need to be doing as a priority. But without further ado, welcome to this video, how to make your first $10,000. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're working 9 to 5 or not. I'm gonna give you a couple different scenarios on how you do it, but there's a big understanding that people need to actually dial in on, and that's what I'm gonna really get on in this video. So if you can, please like, subscribe, comment, tag a friend, share it with somebody who may need to hear this, because yeah, we all about getting our bag up in 2022. Let me know in the comments what other type of videos you guys want me to bring out, because I have a bunch of different ideas already, but I would love to hear back from you guys. So step number 1, if you're gonna make your first $10,000, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to change your mentality. I think a big reason that a lot of people can't increase their income or get to a certain level financially is because they struggle with understanding how money even works and how bad the mental or how big of a role the mental plays in saving money, right? So if you constantly tell yourself that you can't do something, or that you can't do this because of this, or you come from here and you know this is why you're stuck in this position, you're always going to hinder yourself. You're always going to, you know, make excuses for why you can't get to where you're trying to get to in life, right? A big example of this is you have to first change your mentality and understanding that, look, whatever you believe you can actually achieve, right? Sometimes people think that because we come from in certain environments or certain cities or certain inner cities, you know what I'm saying, that we can't accomplish certain things because of the people around us or where we come from. Like, nah, yo, like, you know, I came from I'm an inner city kid, you know what I mean, from Cleveland, Ohio. I never said that life growing up was easy, nor did I say I grew up in the hood or anything like that, but I had to change my mentality to get to where I am now. You know what I mean? I own 2 six-figure businesses, I own a 7-figure business, you know, and I helped 10 people just last year in 2021 make over $100,000 each. You know what I mean? So I've been able to accomplish a bunch of different things, but it's the level of understanding of how in tune I have to be with my mental to even get to that level. So you got to change your mentality. This the biggest thing, and this is probably, I would say, the second biggest tip that I can probably give you is change your circle. Right? Change your circle. So the problem is a lot of y'all are okay with going out every single weekend, spending money that you know you absolutely need to go invest in another place, right? I've talked about this on Instagram Live a lot, and I think a lot of people really took the way I addressed it, you know, to heart. But you know, your wants are literally liabilities and your needs are your assets. So because you want to go take this girl out on a date, that's where your money is going for the asset. Because you want to buy the new Dior and the new Gucci, that's where your money is going for this new asset for your business, right? Because you want to kick it every single weekend, you don't have the time to calculate how you're going to make this business work. You're not putting in the time and reading books. You know what I mean? I have all these different books back here and I'm constantly reading, constantly leveling up mentally so I can reach new levels, right? You have to be able to reach new levels, but you're never going to be able to reach those new levels if you keep distracting yourself. I promise you, if you take the next couple weekends and you really dial in and you really focus on, okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm gonna set aside 2 to 3 hours. I'm gonna sit down, no phone, put it on D&D. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna plan out exactly how I'm gonna get to where I'm trying to get to, right? I bet you if you did this over the course of 3-4 months, you're gonna look back and be like, wow, I'm so happy I did this, and why didn't I do this before? The time that you need to invest in your business, the money that you need, is all disguised in the things that you want. Because you want the new clothes, because you want the jewelry, because you want the flashy cars, because you want all of these different things, you gotta learn how to delay gratification. At the end of the day, getting to where you're trying to get to involves you doing things that you've never done before. So before you even try to think you're gonna make $1 million, you gotta look at all the things that you haven't done yet to even get to $1 million, right? Because I'm not saying making $1 million is a walk in the park. For most people, you know, it's not gonna be. But once you get, you know, your first 10,000, then you can reach 100,000. You know what I mean? For me, when I was working my way up, right? All I needed to understand was that, okay, if I can make 10,000, I just gotta do that 10 more times. There's 100,000. When I got to 100,000, I was like, yo, to make $1 million, I got to do this 10 more times. And then that's how I got to $1 million. And then after going from $1 million to 100 million, you know what I mean, or 10 million, it's the same thing, 10x, right? Shout out to Grant Cardone, 10x, right? So you got to 10x everything. You got to 10x the amount of work that you put in. You got to 10x the amount of time that you put in. You got to 10x, you know, your comprehension level of what's going on with money and how the world works. The United States is a big ass business. If you didn't know that, well, now you know, right? So third thing, this is probably you know, a big tip for those of you who may not already have this, but set up 2 different bank accounts. Like this entire video is giving you a step-by-step process on how to make your first $10,000, right? So the next thing you want to do is go set up a bank account, right? So what I personally did for myself and for my daughter is I set up 2 checkings accounts. The reason that I don't use a savings account is, you know, because banks don't allow you to make you know, withdrawals and things like that multiple times throughout the month and transfers multiple times throughout the month with the savings account. Most people don't know that, right? So that's why I have 2 checkings accounts, right? I have multiple checkings accounts, of course, because of multiple businesses and things like that. But for you as a new person or a person who's just getting into, you know, getting their finances up or really trying to take things seriously, you got to go open up 2 bank accounts. The reason that I say this is that one is your checking account. This is where all the money is coming into. So when you get paid from your job, somebody cash app you some money, anything like that, all of that money goes into this one checking account, right? You want to keep everything organized. But from that one checking account, once that money comes in, you want to break off a portion of everything that you make and put it into the other account, right? So I read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's somewhere back here. But The Richest Man in Babylon, there was a quote that really hit home for me. And that was, a portion of all that you make is yours to keep. A portion of all that you make is yours to keep. So every time you start making money, you need to be putting up money so you can have money to invest in other areas. Because again, you can invest in the stock market, you can invest in crypto, you can buy real estate, you can make an e-commerce business, which is what I specialize in building clothing brands, right? You can flip stuff, right? Retail arbitrage. You know, there's a bunch of people who are going to Home Goods, going to TJ Maxx, going to Burlington and buying these clothes and then selling them on Amazon or selling them on eBay, right? There's multiple different ways. When you have this, right? This is in the world, right? All you need is a cell phone, some common sense, and the willpower to go after what you want in life, right? So when you go set up those 2 bank accounts, you don't need any money to go do that. You just need to put money in as a deposit to go into those bank accounts, therefore it's still your money. But again, the biggest thing that I would tell you to do after that is to put up the checking account that you're treating as your savings. Take that card and put it somewhere where you don't need it. Don't put it in your wallet because you're going to be inclined to use it even more when you go out. Put it somewhere where you're not even going to touch it, right? So for me, I leave it in, you know, a lockbox where, you know, I keep all of some stuff, right? I put that card in a lockbox so I know, like, look, I'm never going to use that card. So whatever money's in there, I'm not using it, right? I don't have the card. I didn't memorize the card either, so I can't use the card, period, right? So that's going to be huge, right? That was step 3. Step number 4, you have to start lowering your expenses, right? You have to lower your expenses. So if you didn't already, right, see my TikTok video where I talked about this, and I had a lot of controversy behind it, but do not move out of your parents' house too quickly. If you're able to stay in your parents' house for a longer period than most people, I would definitely take advantage of it. I didn't move out of my mom's house until last year. I was 22 years old when I moved out of my mom's house, right? And I had well over $250,000, well over $500,000 to just move out of my mom's house and be comfortable with whatever situation I move into, right? And what I did was I didn't increase my expenses substantially, right? I started to understand that, look, I want to buy as many assets as possible. So I started buying dividend paying companies. I bought a Tesla so I can put it on Toro, another way to make money, right? I started staking my crypto coins. I started looking into how to buy real estate, right? Which is why I'm waiting on the pre-approval for a rental property that I'm looking at in Cleveland, Ohio. But again, you have to break off your money and put it in assets. But first you have to understand that your expenses may be too high. So if you're only able to save, let's say 25% of everything that you're making, then your expenses are a tad bit too high. I'm not gonna lie. So some people will ask me, Tez, how do I lower my expenses though? Well, the first thing you have to look at is, what things do you need? Like, what things do you absolutely need? Well, you need a roof over your head. You need a cell phone, you need transportation, which is a car, you need insurance, life insurance, health insurance, you need those things. But what things can I go without? So yeah, you gotta cut off majority of the things that you don't absolutely need in life, right? If it's not something that's keeping your health right, keeping a roof over your head, food, water, things like that, you gotta cut it off, because at the end of the day, you absolutely need to keep this money set aside and invest it into other places, right? Now, the next biggest step that I would tell you is make sure that when you're working your job, that you're looking at the skill sets that you're acquiring from that job. I think a lot of people sleep on this. The reason that I'm able to articulate myself so well through videos, or be in front of cameras or big crowds and be able to speak without, you know, stuttering or without being nervous and things like that, is because I have a lot of practice. You know, I sold cars, I sold cable. I was that person inside of Sam's Club, you know, pitching every single person that I seen about DirecTV and the things that we offered and how I can help them get a lower internet bill or a lower cable bill and things like that. So with me pitching everybody and all the time, every single day, what happens is I built up a wall, so I can take no's, I can take rebuttals straight to the face without feeling emotionally, you know, distraught, right? So you got to start looking at the skill sets that you're acquiring through your job, so you can see how you can take that skill set and apply it to real life, or apply it to a side hustle, or apply it to a business that you really want to be in, right? All that I did for me is I took my experience of being in sales and I started putting it online, right? I took all the experiences, all the ways of talking, all the lessons that I learned in sales. I took everything and I went online with it. And I started branding myself better. I started making sure that I'm presenting myself better, right? Because perception is key. You know, if you're walking around looking bummy, then at the end of the day, nobody's gonna wanna network with you. Nobody's gonna give you the opportunity. Nobody's gonna give you that deal or wanna sign up for your course or sign up for your program or things like that. So presentation is also very, very key. I'm not saying that you have to spend an arm and a leg for your presentation to be good, but bro, get a haircut. Ladies, get your hair done, get your nails done, get you a nice cologne, fellas. Ladies, get you a nice perfume, and then, you know, go somewhere where it doesn't cost a lot of money to go get some nice clothes. H&M, right? You know, you got Burlington. Burlington always has a bunch of different stuff. I kid you not, when I was working a job, I was literally just buying clothes from Burlington, like literally suits, and I would wear those suits all the time. And although my presentation was on point, right, it was also me saving money instead of spending thousands of dollars on other areas that I don't need to be spending money on. So that's going to be a huge key for the majority of you out there who are really trying to get to that next level. You got to start, you know, making sure that your presentation is key. I'm not saying go buy jewelry and things like that yet, right? Because those things do help with your presentation, but wait until you have enough money to buy it 4 or 5 times. That's when you can actually afford it. If you can buy it right now and you know you like you're going to be low on money and you can't make it, you know, make your rent next month, I wouldn't buy it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't make that decision, right? So how do we start making more money, right? Because the tips that I just gave you are more so mentality things, more so action taking things where it comes to when it comes to like actually you know, going to the bank, setting up those accounts, making sure that the money that's coming into your account, making sure that you're dishing off a percentage. So some may ask, what percentage of my money should I put aside? If you can put aside anywhere from 10 to 25% of your money into that other account, you'll be set, right? But the biggest thing is if you do have additional money, right? Let's say you're staying with your mom right now, or your dad, or your parents, or your grandparents, or whoever your guardian is, right? Let's say you're staying with them. What I would do is, if you don't have to pay any bills, I would be taking 80 to 90% of my income and I would be investing it. The weekends, I would use those times to learn. I would use those times to read books, watch YouTube videos. Like you're watching this YouTube video on how to make your first $10,000. Why not go down the rabbit hole of looking at all the different ways of, okay, retail arbitrage, how do I flip stuff? Or e-commerce, right? Oh, Tez has a course, it's $50, $100, $300, whatever it is. I want to invest in myself, or I want to join the Limitless Investments group chat, the #1 clothing brand server in the world, because I want to learn how to build my clothing brand, right? I want to learn how to advertise. Oh, Tez has a course for, you know, advertising on Facebook. There's a bunch of different ways, but you have to go accumulate information. There's no way that you're going to get to where you're trying to get to without having the information to get there, right? The information is your vehicle. Your action taking is you pushing your foot in the gas, right? You need the information first though, right? So those are going to be some huge things. Now let's talk about how can you actually make additional, some more money, or an additional side of income on the side of your job, right? Stream of income on the side of your job. What I would tell you to do is I would start with a side hustle, right? So while you're working your job, you take the money from your job and you invest it into the side hustle. Now, the reason I say do a side hustle is because #1, you don't have to legalize that business or anything like that. And #2, you're just testing the field out. You're testing the water. So you're just kind of putting your foot, one foot in, one foot out. Do I really like this or do I not? Because I always tell people, never go down a direction or go down a route where you don't love what you do every single day. that's the biggest thing that I would stress to those who are really trying to get to that next level. Do what you love to do. I love dressing, so I have clothing brands. I used to love having waves, so I have a do-rag brand. I love teaching people, so I have courses. I love educating my members and seeing how I can change lives, so I created a Discord community to where I can educate them and they have personal access to me, my VIP, my educators, and my team, right? So I do things that naturally I fall in love with because those are the things that I'm passionate about. You don't have to be passionate about it, but that's what I'm passionate about, and that's why my results speak for me, and that's why I'm a known educator in this space when it comes to social media and building and branding and e-commerce and clothing brands and things like that, right? So those are going to be some big tips. But let's talk about this side hustle now. So what are some different side hustles that you can do? Number one, you can start flipping items, right? Because again, when I was selling cars, I was delivering do-rags on the side. So I would literally go to the beauty supply store. If you haven't checked out my video, how I made my first $100,000, it'll be somewhere up here somewhere. But just go click that link. I go in detail on my story of how I literally went from $0 to $100,000 at the age of 20, and I had a newborn child as well. So I show you exactly how I did it. But number one is flipping items, right? So whether or not it's lashes, whether it's hair, you can buy hair from Alibaba and sell it to people around you or people in your city. There's different ways to go about it. You can do nails, right? You can cut hair. Cutting hair is a very lucrative way to make some additional money on the side because it doesn't take a lot of time. If you look at 30 to 45 minutes per cut, right, and you start trying to squeeze in 5 to 6 people after work, boom, there goes your check, or there goes the amount of money you just made at your job. But now you have that additional in your pocket right then and there, instead of waiting for your job to pay you, right? The second thing is you can start looking into actually starting a business, right? So I recommend getting into e-commerce. If you don't know what e-commerce is, it's just the process of selling things online. I highly recommend Shopify. I have a bunch of different courses on it, but I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm here to give you as much information as possible so you can get to where you're trying to get to in life. Again, this is free game for y'all. So again, I would start a business, right? So do I want to start a clothing brand? Do I want to start a swimsuit line? Do I want to sell jewelry? Do I want to sell candles? What actually resonates with me? That's what you have to ask yourself. People always ask me, Tez, I don't know what to sell. Well, I would say sell what you personally like. What things do you personally use a lot? What things do you absolutely love? People always say, well, everybody's already doing that. Well, guess what? If you walk in the store, inside of one of these stores, you go inside Giant Eagle, you go inside Walmart, you don't see just one company, one water bottle company. There's bunch of different water bottle companies. So that doesn't mean, at the end of the day, you can think about it like this. Burger King, there was a Burger King and there was a McDonald's right across the street from each other. A lot of y'all may see this, right? There's multiple food chain restaurants around each other and they all still get their own business. So just because other people are doing what you want to do doesn't mean that you can't do it as well. So I would say go out there and risk it, right? Take your money that you're taking from your job or making from your job, take that money and invest it into something, invest it into that business, invest it into a side hustle, invest it into flipping stuff, right? So, if I buy 3 do-rags right now and it's $3 each, I'm gonna spend $9. If I sell each one of those for $5, then I'll make $15. I'll make $6 profit. I'm gonna take that $6, I'm gonna flip it again, right? That's what I would recommend for you guys to do and start understanding how that process looks. The better you get with flipping things, the better you get with selling yourself, selling your brand, right? All those different things, the easier it's gonna be for you, to get to where you're trying to get to in life, right? So those are the biggest tips that I can possibly give you guys. Lower your expenses, increase the amount of streams of income that you have. Cut out going out on the weekends every single weekend, right? Cut back on drinking and smoking. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying that these are options that you should look into if you're really trying to get there. But you have to ask yourself now, how bad do I really want it? You know what I mean? Do I have a why as to why I want to why I want to make this type of money? For me, I have a child. My daughter's 4 years old, so there's a plate on the table that needs food on it. So I'm always gonna want to go hustle and want to go eat so I can put food on her table and on her plate. So that's the biggest thing that you have to think about. Why do I want to do this? How bad do I want it? Some of y'all may say you want it as that super bad, but you don't put the time in. You don't put the work in. It doesn't make sense. You can't put up 3 shots every single day and think that you're gonna shoot like Steph Curry. Steph puts up thousands of shots every single day. Right? If you want to be a part of the elite, you have to do if you want to be a part of the top 1%, you have to be willing to do what the other 99% aren't willing to do. right? So again, those are some different things that you can do. You can buy things from retail stores, right? Example, retail arbitrage. You can buy things from retail stores like TJ Maxx, like Burlington. You know, there's a bunch of different ones out there, and you can literally scan on Amazon. You can go on Amazon and scan that item and see how much you can flip it for. Because if you look at, you know, TJ Maxx or, you know, Burlington, they have a lot of good quality things that are on sale. So you take that item, you scan it on Amazon, and guess what? You get to see what Amazon is selling it for. So when you put it on Amazon, guess what? That person is buying it from you, but they're buying it from Amazon. So you don't need to build a business around it. You don't need to build, you know, an LLC and do all those different things. You're just flipping something. Okay, I'm buying it for $20. I'm gonna sell it to this person for $35. I just made $15. Boom. Right? So there's a bulk amount of ways that you can make money online. You know, all you need again is your cell phone, common sense, and the willpower to go after what you want and some goals. So those are my biggest tips to you guys on how to make your first $10,000. If you guys like this video, please again like, share, comment, tag a friend. If this helped you at all, please leave it in the comments. And if you guys do like videos like this, let me know, because I have a whole series that I have planned out in my head on how to help you guys get to where you're trying to get to financially. I have a bunch of different clothing brand ideas as well that I'll be bringing to YouTube. I'm just excited to get back in my office and actually teaching in my own space with my own area, you know, to actually set the tone and you know, really give you guys the game that you guys have been asking me for on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and things like that. So hopefully this video was valuable to you. If it was, again, make sure you guys do those things that I asked. But nonetheless, this was that video. I'm gonna keep this video short because I have a bunch of different ideas that I want to pitch out to you guys. So we're at about 20 minutes or so. But I greatly appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys go hit that sub button, go turn on those post notifications so you don't miss another YouTube video. But without further ado, it's been your boy Tez. Hopefully you guys got some value from this. I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and let's kill it in 2022. Let's get it.